Quick correction before we start today's video. In the Faces episode, I forgot to count the death of Lieutenant Durst, so let's update the old death counter real quick. Also, my workload is picking up a lot, so I need you to cast your votes down in the comments section this week. Would you rather have an overthinking video sporadically uploaded as I get the time to make them, maybe once every other week, maybe once a month? Or would you rather have no Voyager videos for a while until I can get a stockpile of them made up, and then have me release Season 2 once every week? Cast your vote and let me know.
Good morning, children. I'm your new governess, Mrs. Davenport.
This is the second out of 3 installments of the Gothic novel, and I'm still disappointed we never see how it ends.
Henry Burley, you will address us as my lord and my lady.
This kid is trying to out-brat Wesley Crusher, and I think he's winning.
I hope to be a friend to you, as well as a governess.
In ulam remne preparamus.
This kid just told Janeway, let's not rush into anything in Latin. That's a pretty good burn.
She's not dead! I saw her last night!
We have found the witch! May we burn her?
Be careful. Sorry. You might have broken the connection.
Crewman Dolby.
Did Tuvok just call him Crewman Dobby?
Dobby the house elf.
Saw a malfunctioning gel pack and I fixed it. I guess I'm used to doing things a little differently. On our ship, when something went wrong, you fixed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna call shenanigans on that statement. I don't think B'Elanna would have been okay with you just randomly fixing something without telling her on the Maquis ship.
Otherwise, leave me alone.
I love Tuvok's look after confronting the Maquis crewman Dolby. Like, I don't know how to deal with this now.
Lieutenant Torres is running a materials analysis on the gel pack. In the meantime, the unit has been replaced.
How many do we have left in reserve?
47.
Wow, it's been a while since we had a 47 reference. Also, only 47 gel packs left. That's a hard and fast number of gel packs remaining, and I wonder if that's going to come up later.
Commander, you know Mr. Dobby better than I do. Any idea what might be bothering him?
Dolby's always been pretty aggressive. My guess is the man's frustrated. He's not used to dealing with Starfleet protocol and procedure.
It's been a very long time since I mentioned this, but I would have loved to see more of this very minor chafing and growing pains kind of episodes existing between the Starfleet and Maquis crew members.
Commander Chakotay would be a more logical choice to be their instructor.
That's my point. He doesn't have to earn their respect. We do.
This is a great character development moment for Janeway. She said back in Caretaker that they were going to be a Starfleet crew, and we get to see that she's not going to punish Maquis crew members for not having the training and experience that people who went the Academy would have. Plus, I like to see that she's willing to put forth the effort to get not their obedience, but their respect.
Commander, pick out the Maquis crew members you feel would benefit most from the training.
I mean, frankly, all the Maquis should be going through this training.
Good morning. We have assembled here because Captain Janeway feels you would all benefit from additional Starfleet training.
And Chakotay. It was Captain Janeway and Chakotay who selected them. By wording it the way he did, Tuvok set them up to be antagonistic towards him.
How about it? Does anybody really want to be here? Well, I don't think he's going to phaser us. So let's go.
Yeah, this is an interesting issue with authority. It only exists provided the people say it exists. When it can't exist because it has the support of the people, it exists through the force of authority, often by robbing the people from their means to resist their force. Nice try, Chakotay, but that's not how the Riker maneuver is done.
Transfer has been completed. Dr. Pulaski's being shown to her quarters.
There's the Starfleet way, and there's the Maquis way.
I feel like Robert Beltran got a lot of lame plots and bad lines for his character that kind of made Chakotay languish in comparison to the other crew members. But I think this and his speech that follows is a moment where he really gets to shine.
I will now inspect your uniforms. Crewman Henley, your headband is certainly festive.
Oh, Tuvok, you always know how to charm the ladies.
I know. I'll have to take off the earring.
Correct.
False. We've been shown in TNG and DS9 that a Bajoran earring falls in the same category as Worf's sash thingy, which I just learned was called a baldric.
This ornament is in violation of the dress code.
It was hidden. You could hardly see it.
You will remove it now.
This may seem overly strict, but Starfleet is a military organization and uniformity is important. Plus, dangling jewelry like this actually represents a safety hazard when you're working around moving equipment.
Dismissed.
What are we going to be doing?
You will find that out at 1900 hours. Dismissed.
That's a Starfleet expression for get out.
Bridge to engineering. Report.
It's another malfunction in the bioneural circuitry.
So 46 gel packs left?
The patient is sick.
Can you be more specific?
To discuss the patient's condition in front of the patient would be a serious breach of professional etiquette.
Doctor.
Very well.
I love Robert Picardo's acting.
We'll be taking a 10-kilometer run. I've cleared Deck 13 of personnel for the evening.
These are the same backpacks that were used in the TNG episode Chain of Commands. It's a good episode, you should go watch it.
We will get to Deck 13 by using the Jeffries tubes.
Well, at least it's only 2 decks down.
We are getting to Deck 13 by way of the mess hall.
That's on deck 2.
Note to self, the mess hall is on deck 2 and engineering is on deck 11. I wonder if that ever comes up again. Apparently most, if not all, of these Jeffrey tube shots were filmed with the camera in the exact same location. They just moved it to a slightly different angle, or zoomed in or zoomed out, or had them going in a different direction to give the illusion of them traveling through vast area of the ship.
Be my guest.
I feel like I'd definitely be the crewman cello of this group.
That was a run of approximately 10.1 kilometers.
That wasn't a run, it was a death march.
They're giving him some seriously bad looks, but physical training is extremely important, especially in a military organization.
Chell, what are you doing?
Mr. Tuvok ordered me to degauss the entire transporter room.
Okay, I get obedience is important in a military organization, and I've definitely been supporting concepts like uniformity and physical endurance, but punitive tasks like this? I'm not sure they really serve to instill obedience. I'm also not sure if this kind of thing actually occurs or if this is just a cinema trope.
The program will present you with a series of random events, which you and your crew must deal with in whatever manner you see fit.
I wish bridge crew could be more open-ended like this. Just let us fly around and scan for things, responding to whatever we wanted to. That'd be an amazing Star Trek game. That blue accent lighting can't serve much purpose, but it looks fantastic.
I feel that my services as morale officer are required. 1, no cup of tea. 2, no pad. 3, you're sitting on the opposite side from usual.
I love that Neelix can read Tuvok this well, but I still say Tom and Ensign Kim make for the best bromance in Star Trek.
No, Mr. Vulcan. I'm saying that you are rigid and inflexible.
That eyebrow pop Tuvok gives is such a spot-on response to Tuvok feeling surprised or insulted by Neelix's comment. Also, I love that Neelix still calls him Mr. Vulcan. I forget when, but eventually we get a comment from Neelix about this. But he keeps doing it even after that comment, so I think he's well aware that it's not Tuvok's last name. Just does it to prod him a little bit.
Cheese. You must cultivate bacteria to make cheese.
Of course.
Executive story editor Ken Biller came up with the idea of having the cheese be the thing causing problems, but later on he thought it wasn't entirely successful. I think it works great. One of the things that makes me love Trek is they take a sci-fi story and use it to examine the human condition, and often that sci-fi story has something mundane at its roots causing the issues. Something as innocent as cultivating cheese is great, especially considering the galley was supposed to be the captain's mess and clearly didn't have the required filtration.
I feel awful about this.
Neelix, this wasn't your fault.
B'Elanna is wrong. This is completely Neelix's fault.
You may break, Mr. Dolby.
Okay.
Ooh, I found Waldo again. Also, is that Admiral Pottymouth in the background?
Sheer
Red alarm.
hubris.
Do you play pool often? Do you have a family?
What is this all about?
Oof, watching Tuvok try to make small talk is as awkward as watching me try to make small talk.
Okay. Here's the brief history of Kenneth Dalby.
I wonder if anything Dalby is saying right here is actually the truth.
So I'd appreciate it if you'd try not to make him any more miserable than he is already.
Commander Chakotay specifically recommended Mr. Garin for this program.
This is absolutely something Tuvok should have said up front.
I don't want to get to know you. And I don't want to be your friend.
If this was a rom-com, they'd be a couple by the end of it after a line like this.
Tuvok to bridge. This is Lieutenant Tuvok. Is anyone receiving this message?
Sickbay to bridge. Captain, I believe we may have something.
Wait, how's the doctor communicating with the bridge right now? We just clearly saw communications are down.
If we wanted to superheat the gel pack system, how could we do it?
I suppose we could infuse the gel pack circuits with a high-energy plasma burst from a symmetric warp field.
What? This is nonsense! I mean, I can accept everything they're throwing out here, except generating heat by inverting the warp field back on itself. I mean, just leave the emergency brake on and rev up the engine. They were clearly trying to overcomplicate this with technobabble.
Ready to go.
Do it.
It's a minor thing, but this is the first time that the practical model of Voyager had its nacelles raised on screen. The time they did it back in Caretaker, it was 100% CGI.
I won't forget this! You're letting him die!
I like how Tuvok goes back for him. The needs of the many may indeed outweigh the needs of the one, but a good leader doesn't leave a man behind if he can help it. And Tuvok does have a higher chance of making it out alive, considering his Vulcan physiology.
All of the infectious bacteria have been destroyed.
The danger of further infection has passed.
Whoa! It looks like Kes just got out of a shower. I guess the Ocampan are weak to heat.
I thought Starfleet rules said that was an unacceptable risk.
It was. However, I recently realized that there are times when it is desirable to bend the rules.
Yeah, I think what Tuvok is actually bending is the truth. Sure, there are times when we see a commander send someone to their death, but that doesn't mean it's against the rules to help someone when you might be able to save them. Alright, learning curve. I like this episode a lot. I think it's a fun, character-focused show that gives Tim Russ lots of opportunities to shine in his role as Tuvok. One complaint Tim Russ had was he felt like it made no sense for Tuvok to be so obsessed with protocols when just a few episodes back in Prime Factors, he broke so many protocols. I personally don't see the issue. In Prime Factors, Tuvok knew he was breaking the rules, but did what he thought was logical and necessary to make the choice Janeway could not make herself, and was willing to accept the consequences of breaking the protocols. That doesn't mean he's always willing to break protocols. Plus, when you think about it, in both cases, the thing Tuvok was actually focused on was the well-being of the crew. In Prime Factors, he broke the protocols to try to help Janeway protect the crew, and here, having been admonished by Janeway, he upholds the protocols to keep the ship running at peak efficiency as a Starfleet vessel. Now, if this episode gives you a TNG Lower Decks vibes, that's because it was actually written by the same pair of people. It's a little disappointing that they copied off their own work, and honestly, they did it better the first time round, where all 4 plot lines for the Lower Deck members merge at the end of the episode, whereas Dalby is really the only person given any screen time in the Voyager episode. But I think this is still a good episode. Thankfully, they were not the ones who wrote the Season 6 episode Good Shepherd. That would have been a little bit too much. Another oddity about this episode is it doesn't really feel like a season ending. Oh, it works well enough as we see the two crews coming together, but it lacks that punch that the season endings usually have. The reason is that this wasn't supposed to be the season ending at all. A handful of episodes were held back and released as part of Season 2. Now, I'm not going to tell you which episode was supposed to be the season finale, but if you stop and think about it, I think it's fairly obvious, or at least it's going to be obvious once you're told. One question I'm left with at the end of this episode is how many gel packs did they end up losing? If we count each time the ship shuddered throughout the episode as a gel pack popping, then the answer would be 5 in total. But at the same time, I think it's fair to say that they may have saved some of those through the Doctor's treatment. I'm gonna say that after all that, they have 42 packs in reserve. That's it for this video. If you want to be a week ahead of everyone else, you can join my supporters on either Subscribestar or Patreon by searching for Life with Matthew, or just clicking on the links in the description of this video. Thank you to my current supporters, which, according to my notes, are Professor Brainy Specs at the Priority 1 hailing level, John DeMarco and Thomas Potts at the Section 31 tier, and at the Hailing Frequencies Open tier are The Salty Trekker, Ben Joaz, Rock Solid Productions, Commodore Ty, Bird of Prey 5, and Dr. Alex. Be sure to subscribe for more, and until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.